This is Red, White, and Bluegrass.
This week, Kentucky lawmakers received an impeachment petition for one of Kentucky's newest Supreme Court justices. Judge Pamela Goodwine is elected to the state Supreme Court last November. Louisville attorney Jack Richardson is asking the Kentucky House to impeach Goodwine, claiming she should have removed herself from a case earlier this year due to politics. Richardson claims Goodwine supported a second hearing about a 2022 state law limiting the power of Jefferson County's school board because she was endorsed by Governor Andy Beshear and major teachers unions. He vetoed the law in 2022, but was overridden by the GOP supermajority in the General Assembly.
It creates a problem in the minds of people as to whether or not they can get a fair hearing or any justice in the court system today. And that we have a problem not only in Kentucky, but we have a problem all across this country with the court system. It's political and it's got to stop.
Through a spokesman, Judge Goodwine said it was inappropriate for her to comment. The State House has the power to impeach an elected officer with a trial that is then held in the Senate. The legislature meets again in January. Senator Webb, I want to start with you here. Both of y'all voted no on this particular piece of legislation back in 2022. Just going off what you know here, can you say now whether you think that she should have recused herself in this case?
Well, I'm an attorney first. And when you look at judicial conduct, I really like for the process to work as to the judges that we have in place. The judicial, you can file a complaint against a judge, it goes through the process. If at that point, I would feel more comfortable with that having been done, and it's not a new thought for me. When during the Oxycontin crisis, I told the KMA, I said, we don't want to, you fix it or we will. So, I mean, it's sort of an extraordinary remedy regardless. We've invoked it one time when you had federal criminal charges that ended up being successful against a colleague of mine. And so it's an extraordinary remedy. I think, you can bring light to a situation or a potential situation, but I would feel more comfortable if it went through the judicial conduct process.
What do you think, Senator Berg?
Well, I mean, my first question, honestly, is where does this guy have standing? Does he have standing to file? Because I don't even know why he would, but my feeling is that she was duly elected and that until she does something that is unethical, and so far nothing that she has done is outside of the standards of the law at all, then we have nothing to do here. It is not our purview.
Well, I think the question is, the relationship between the school board and the teachers
association
or the classifieds or whoever it is. And it's not always harmonious. So I think that's the legal question that you look at when there's a potential conflict.
The petition notes that Goodwine's endorsements may have been an issue even before the case. Y'all have been in politics for a while. Was it atypical, in your view, for a Supreme Court justice candidate to get the endorsement of the governor or the KEA in this election?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It would have been probably when I started in my tenure. But it has certainly become politicized nationally on the federal level on down. And I think really my personal view is there are two places politics do not belong, and that is in our court system and in education.
The last impeachment was last impeachment was in 2023 against a Commonwealth's attorney. Whenever y'all went through that and the trial was held in the Senate, I believe y'all both voted to convict in that instance. What do you recall about the threshold, how steep that was for y'all to take this seriously? We've seen other petitions that have been thrown out, for example, against Governor Beshear and former AG Coleman, I believe in 2021. So whenever that petition was held, what was the threshold that really said, okay, we need to
this was a totally different circumstance. This was an elected official who was actually having sex with somebody that to change the outcome.
The criminal justice system worked. The criminal he was a friend of mine and a colleague, but the criminal justice system worked the process. Again, an extraordinary remedy with extraordinary facts, and it was ended up being in my opinion, a justifiable action, and it was unfortunate that we were put in that position.
All right, y'all, we're out of time for this topic, but there's more straight ahead.